Hello and welcome back to another video review, this time for Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, Ultimate Edition. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this. And please leave a comment below letting me know if you enjoyed the film. Bruce Wayne flees his parents' burial in a flashback to his boyhood. He falls into a cave and is lifted back to the surface by a circular vortex of bats. Back in the present, 18 months after the fight in Metropolis between Superman and General Zod, Superman has become a divisive figure. Bruce is now a billionaire who has been operating as the vigilante Batman in Gotham City for the past 20 years. He sees Superman as an existential threat to humanity after seeing the carnage of the conflict firsthand. Clark Kent, Superman's civilian persona, wants to expose Batman through Daily Planet stories after learning about his method of justice. Anatoly Knyazev, a Russian arms trafficker, has been contacting LexCorp billionaire Lex Luthor, according to Wayne. Meanwhile, Luthor tries to persuade Senator June Finch to let him bring kryptonite, discovered following Zod's terraforming experiment, into the country so that it might be used as a deterrent against future Kryptonian and metahuman threats. Luthor develops alternate arrangements with Finch's subordinate, enabling him to access Zod's body and the Kryptonian scout ship. Bruce attends a LexCorp gala in order to steal encrypted data from the company's mainframe, but antique stealer Diana Prince steals it from him and returns it after she is unable to access the information. Bruce dreams of a post-apocalyptic world in which he leads rebels against an evil Superman while decrypting the disk. An anonymous figure appears via a portal and awakens him, telling him that Lois Lane is the key and urging him to discover the others before departing. The encrypted disk displays Luthor's information on various metahumans all across the world. Diana, for example, appears in a World War I photograph. Wayne informs Alfred Pennyworth that he intends to steal and weaponize kryptonite in order to go to war with Superman. Finch summoned a well-publicized congressional hearing to probe Superman's conduct against Zod. A bomb brought in by Luthor goes off, killing everyone but Superman. Superman blames himself for not discovering it in time and declares exile on himself. In other events, Batman infiltrates LexCorp and grabs the kryptonite. He creates a powered exoskeleton, a kryptonite grenade launcher, and a spear tipped with kryptonite. Meanwhile, Luthor accesses the Kryptonian ship and gains access to its huge technological database. Luthor tempts Superman out of exile by kidnapping Lois and Clark's adopted mother, Martha Kent. He throws Lois from the LexCorp skyscraper. Superman saves her and confronts Luthor, who explains that he muzzled him and Batman by instilling distrust in them. In return for Martha's life, Luthor asks that he murder Batman. Superman attempts to explain this to Batman, who fights him and finally subdues him with kryptonite gas. As Batman prepares to spear the two murder, Superman begs him to rescue Martha, the same name as Batman's mother. Batman pauses, perplexed, long enough for Lois to come and clarify what Superman meant. He resolves to save Martha after realizing how far he has strayed from grace. On the scout ship, Superman regains his power and confronts Lex Luthor. Luthor follows through on his backup plan, unleashing a monster genetically made from DNA from both Zod's and his own body. Diana appears and joins Batman and Superman in their struggle against the monster. Superman recognizes the creature's kryptonite vulnerability and fetches the spear, fatally impaling the beast with it. In its last moments, the creature stabs Superman, who has been weakened by his exposure to kryptonite, killing him. Following Luthor's imprisonment, Batman meets him in jail, reminding him that he would be monitoring him at all times. Luthor rejoices because Superman's death has exposed the planet to dangerous extraterrestrial dangers. In Metropolis, a memorial to Superman is held. Clark is proclaimed dead as well, and both Wayne and Prince attend his burial in Smallville. Martha hands Lois an envelope holding Clark's engagement ring. Bruce expresses sorrow to Diana for failing Superman in life. He enlists her assistance in assembling a squad of metahumans, beginning with those mentioned in Luthor's files, to safeguard the planet in Superman's absence. The earth above Clark's coffin levitates as they leave. In this film, Superman shined once more. They truly delved into his character in this film by showing what he does on a daily basis to save individuals and the human race. What I mean by this is that Superman saving many people might have ramifications, and sometimes he is unaware of the collateral harm he creates. It was difficult to watch his character in this film go through that because he tries so hard to help everyone he can, but then he has people who always accuse him of causing harm when he doesn't mean to. You can see that notably during the moment where the courthouse blows up, and you can tell by the look on his face that he felt terrible about not being able to help everyone in that bombing. This was also evident when he was battling Batman, because he really didn't want to kill Batman, but felt compelled to fight Batman because he wanted to save his mother, and he could have killed Batman at any time, but he decided that no, it's better to keep Batman alive to save his mother, and I think that's fantastic. So we meet Batman in the Snyderverse, and I have to admit that Ben Affleck makes an excellent Batman. I'd put him in my top 3 Batman. We didn't really see him as Bruce Wayne, but we did get to see him as Batman, and I just love how ruthless he appeared, and I appreciate this harsh version of Batman. I'm not sure what this Batman thinks about murder, but I'll get to that later. This is also an aged version of Batman, since it is said in the film that he has been battling crime for at least 20 years, which is a long time, and I don't believe we've ever seen a Batman this old in live action. We don't get to see much of his investigative side, which is unfortunate, but I enjoyed how we got to see more of him in battle, and surprised they showed him using a lot of gadgets, which I really like. While we're on the subject of Batman, I should mention his costume. I like the suit, but not the ears. To be honest, my favorite Batman outfit is from the one from the Arkham series of video games, because I love the bat ears. It's strange to me that Batman has small ears in this movie, but it's not a huge concern. Here's a contentious claim. I enjoyed this rendition of Lex Luthor. I'll admit that he did seem more like the Joker in a strange manner, but I actually enjoy this rendition since he does seem like a genuine lunatic. He was actually rather intelligent in this film, but I couldn't comprehend his hatred for Superman. Perhaps I missed something, but they never fully addressed why Lex Luthor despises Superman so much. I really enjoy this version because he appears to play a lot of mind games with the other characters, which I think is extremely well done. I also appreciate how he doesn't appear terrified of Superman because he always seems to be one step ahead of him. It's strange to imagine that Superman has so much strength that he may be outmatched by a regular person who can murder in an instant. Finally, I have to remark that Lex Luthor's theme song is amazing. It sends chills down my spine. I thought I'd add Lois Lane because I mentioned her briefly in my Man of Steel review. I simply wanted to mention the character again because I mentioned in my previous review that she appeared like a damsel in distress. She only had one major part in this film where she played the damsel in distress, but it didn't bother me because it fit the narrative nicely. I'm glad to say that she had a bigger role in this film than she did in Man of Steel, which is strange because you'd think she'd have more of an influence in the real Superman film, but that's alright I guess. She had a larger part in this film since she knew Superman had been framed, but wanted to figure out how and why and get the story out there. She performed a better job in this movie since she truly assisted and attempted to clear Superman's name, which I appreciate. There are many great aspects of this film that I shall discuss. I enjoyed the fight between Batman and Superman. I felt it was fantastic how they were able to level the playing field since Batman possessed kryptonite. I'll confess that seeing Batman beat the snot out of Superman was frustrating, but it was also cool since it showed that Batman was wiser than Superman at this. It was intriguing to see since Superman is so used to being practically unstoppable, and to be beaten by a simple mortal like Batman probably actually hit him quite hard. Literally. Wonder Woman was also a favorite of mine. Her introduction in this film was incredible. Simply to watch her defend Batman with her shield and the music hitting you as soon as she's revealed is awesome. I enjoyed how she truly helped a lot throughout the battle against Doomsday. I'm amazed she was able to assist because Doomsday is a Kryptonian and you'd assume they're unbeatable, but she put up a solid fight. I especially enjoy the combat scene before Batman saves Martha. After viewing that battle sequence, I truly hope we had more of it in this movie, and it would have been amazing to see a Batman film starring only Ben Affleck. In this scene, the combat for me feels very powerful. The fact that the bad guys figured he'd arrive via elevator, only for him to appear through the floor and beat the crap out of them was incredibly amazing. This may come as a surprise to you, but I enjoy the fact that Batman was stabbed. I like this because it indicates that Batman is in danger every time he engages in a fist fight. This demonstrates that Batman is not indestructible, and that he must learn to fight and be aware of his surroundings at all times, even in the heat of combat. I also appreciate how they tease the other characters we'll be seeing in the future. I admire how they plant the seeds for the future ventures in this film, without making it too obvious or destroying the story we were viewing. This, to me, is how you tease another character in the future, as opposed to Marvel's method of sidelining the primary character in order to introduce a new character to be used in a future project. It's only a preview of the people we'll see in the future, which is the ideal approach to keep things interesting. As much as I enjoy this film, and it is a guilty pleasure, it has a number of flaws. The first issue I have with this film, and what I believe to be the most serious issue, is Superman's powers. They have all of his typical powers, including super strength, speed, and laser vision, but they don't always appear to account for that throughout the film. For example, when Lois Lane and Martha are abducted, it has previously been known that Superman possesses superhuman hearing, allowing him to hear anybody on Earth. This is shown even in the film, since at one point, Lois Lane is trapped underwater and Superman can hear her choking, which brings up my argument. Wouldn't you believe Superman would have protected Martha and Lois if they were being abducted and screaming? That would have probably spared Superman and the other two guys a lot of worry. Another difficulty I have with his abilities is his tremendous speed. I'm not sure whether they've proved that Superman can go at the same speed as the Flash, and the Flash is quite quick, but I know Superman is fast. To be fair, I'm basing this on online fun facts, so take my critique with a grain of salt. Couldn't Superman have heard Martha's heartbeats and known precisely where she was when Lex Luthor threatened Superman's mother, and then used his super speed to save her instantly? When it comes to the plot, I know it's difficult for superhero movies to include superpowers in the plot. It takes amazing writers to grant them abilities in order to tell a strong story, and in this film, they occasionally toss that out the window, which bothers me. My other complaint is about Superman's death. Superman's death was terrible, and I admit that I felt emotional, but it could have been averted. So what happened was that Superman wanted to kill Doomsday, but the only way to kill Doomsday was with kryptonite. So that's what Superman did. He destroyed Doomsday with kryptonite. But he died as well, since he was carrying the kryptonite, which might have been prevented. This may have been prevented if there had been, another superpowered being present, like Wonder Woman. I bring this up because if Superman had given Wonder Woman the kryptonite staff, She could have slain Doomsday herself. It was a fantastic death scene, but without that obvious flaw, it would have been much better, because Wonder Woman could have been the one to slay Doomsday, and I'm not sure why they felt the need to murder Superman in this film. That gets me to my second critique, which I'm not sure has anything to do with this film, but it's one I should raise. That critique is that I believe Zack Snyder rushed the project. I'm not sure if it was him particularly, or Warner Brothers attempting to catch up to Marvel. I say this because they've already given us Wonder Woman in this film, followed by Batman and Superman, and thus yet they've only shown us Man of Steel. I know I just reviewed Wonder Woman and we all know she got her own movie, but to be fair to this film, I'm only speaking from the perspective of someone who saw it for the first time in 2016. Anyway, I think they rushed this too much since, towards the conclusion of the film, Batman is already talking about forming the Justice League. I believe they should have followed Marvel's lead and made a solo film for each member of the Justice League before ever considering doing a Justice League film. I will confess that I enjoy the Marvel model, and I believe that if Warner Brothers had duplicated Marvel, they might have been a contender for the top spot, much like Marvel. Doomsday's design did not appeal to me. I get that Doomsday isn't intended to be the most attractive character, but I really wish he looked like the Doomsday from the cartoon and comics. He looked scarier than he did in this film. I'm going to say he resembles Abomination from the original Hulk. When I see a character like Doomsday, I don't want to think of him as Abomination. What's the deal with Batman killing people in this film? Although it was never stated in the film that he dislikes murdering people, the entire premise of Batman is that he does not kill. So why is he killing criminals in this film? It's especially noticeable during the car pursuit sequence. He obviously blows up a vehicle full of bad guys, and they make no attempt to disguise the fact that he's murdering them. I understand it's a new take on Batman, but someone should at least explain why he's prepared to kill criminals rather than beat them to a pulp. In the end, how would I rate Batman vs Superman? Well, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I give it a 7 out of 10 since, from the standpoint of a reviewer, this film has flaws. More bad than excellent in my opinion. I will confess that this is a guilty pleasure of mine, and I enjoy it. But from a reviewer's standpoint, it is not the best superhero movie ever created. I enjoyed how we were introduced to Batman, who was played by Ben Affleck, and I believed he was an excellent choice for the part. Anyways, that concludes my review of Batman vs Superman. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a comment to let me know what you thought of the film and whether or not you liked it. Please consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more reviews like this.